Yes, listen carefully. I hope all of you can hear my sound. Yes, so let us start with the JNET lecture that is about ray optics. तो अभी रे ऑप्टिक्स के अंदर हमको आज के लेक्चर में रिफ्लेक्शन और रिफ्रैक्शन ये दोनों जो है वो थोड़ा सा डिटेल में देखना है. ठीक है, रिफ्लेक्शन इन केस ऑफ द प्लेन surfaces as well as reflection by the curved surfaces. Then again, in the next lecture, in the next part, we'll see the refraction from the plane surface as well as the refraction through the curved surface, no doubt. So let us start here. First of all, we'll just talk about the reflection. तो अभी जो बेसिक कंसेप्ट आपको ऑलरेडी सबको पता है कि बेसिकली रिफ्लेक्शन इज नथिंग बट द बाउंसिंग ऑफ लाइट, रे ऑफ लाइट फ्रॉम द रिफ्लेक्टिंग मीडियम. ठीक है, और ये भी तुमको पता है ऑलरेडी कि द इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स जो है वो उनका वेवलेंथ जो है वो 4000 एंगस्ट्रॉम से 400 नैनोमीटर से लेके 750 नैनोमीटर तक फैला हुआ होता है. तो उसको ही हम लाइट बोलते हैं. और अभी उन सभी कलर्स जो होते हैं तो अलग अलग कलर्स अलग अलग वेवलेंथ रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. डिफरेंट कलर्स हैव डिफरेंट वेवलेंथ्स, बट ऑल द वेव्स और ऑल द कलर्स ट्रेवल इन द same speed, with the same speed in the same straight line, and that speed is given by 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Remember. Okay, so reflection जो है तो उसको डिफाइन कर सकते हैं इस तरह से, bouncing back of ray of light from the reflecting surface is actually called as reflection. No doubt. ये तो बहुत basic concept है. Laws of reflection also we have already seen that the angle of incidence is going to be the same as angle of reflection, and साइन कन्वेंशन जो है वो भी हमको पता है ऑलरेडी कि जो इंसिडेंट रे का जो डायरेक्शन होता है तो इंसिडेंट रे का डायरेक्शन हमेशा पॉजिटिव माना जाता है, and the rays which are traveling the distances or all the measurements which are along the direction of incident light will be considered as positive, and the distances or measurements which are measured opposite to the direction of incident ray will be considered as negative. तो ये इस तरह से साइन कन्वेंशन हमको यूज करने हैं, याद रखने से. सो दिस इज फॉर मिरर. तो ये जो इस तरफ वाला जो लेफ्ट वाला राइट साइड का जो डिस्टेंस है वो सब हमको पॉजिटिव कंसीडर करना है, और लेफ्ट वाला डिस्टेंस जो है हमको नेगेटिव कंसीडर करना होता है. एंड साइज के लिए जो है साइन कन्वेंशन यही है कि अब ऊपर का जो डिस्टेंस है वो हमेशा पॉजिटिव और नीचे का डिस्टेंस हमेशा नेगेटिव कंसीडर करना होता है. तो ये हमको समझना है अच्छी तरह से, ये ऑलरेडी हमको पता ही है. Just we'll skip this. Yes, focal length of spherical mirrors. तो इसमें देखा जाता है कि मेरे मिरर्स का जो फोकल लेंथ है, फोकल लेंथ मतलब क्या, द पॉइंट एट विच ऑल द रेज जस्ट मीट ईच अदर. ठीक है, इन केस ऑफ द कॉन्केव मिरर the rays actually meet each other, but in case of convex mirror the rays appear to come from a distinct point behind, and that is called as the virtual focus. तो इसलिए यहाँ पे इसमें ये बात समझ सकते हो कि ये ज्योमेट्री डायग्राम का अगर देखते हो ठीक से तो ये सेंटर सी मतलब सेंटर है, यहाँ पे एफ मतलब फोकस है, और थीटा जो है वो एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस भी है और एंगल ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन भी है. और ज्योमेट्री से ये हमको पता चलता है कि ये जो पीएफ और पीसी इन दोनों के बीच में क्या रिलेशनशिप है, तो वो हम देख सकते हैं आराम से कि आर इज इक्वल टू 2 टाइम्स ऑफ एफ, दैट इज द रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर ऑफ द लेंस और मिरर is always equal to the 2 times of the focal length of the mirror. Remember, तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर्मूला है जो हमको याद रखना है अच्छी तरह से. Just forget about the proof. Proof is not just that important. We can just remember the result, that is the radius of curvature of the mirror, plane concave mirror or convex mirror anyways, is always equal to 2 times of the focal length, or we can say the focal length is always half of the radius of curvature of the mirror. ये हम समझ सकते हैं focal length of spherical mirror is same for all light. Yes, we'll skip the MCQs. Yes, mirror equation भी हमने already देखा था. If suppose u is the object distance, v is the image distance, and f is the focal length, then we can just prove that yes, 1 upon u, 1 upon v plus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f. This equation is actually called as the mirror equation, taken along with sign conventions, remember. Okay, then magnification of the by the mirror, spherical mirror, is defined as the h dash upon h, that is the height of image upon height of object, remember. But if we use the similarity of triangles, then it can also be proved that the h1 h dash upon h happens to be minus of v upon u. Note this minus sign here. देखो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है बात समझना कि ये जो फॉर्मूला है वो बिल्कुल एज इट इज लर्न करो. Magnification of a mirror is defined as the size of object, size of image upon size of object, where sign convention has to be considered in this case also. तो जब हम size of object और size of image consider करेंगे तो size of object is always going to be positive here. Why? Because object is always kept erect. Object is always kept above the x-axis, and that's why its height will be positive, no doubt. But image का जो है height वो positive हो सकता है या negative भी हो सकता है, depending upon whether image is inverted or it is erect. So if the image is erect, then h1 will be positive or h dash will be positive. Or if suppose the image is inverted, then in that case h dash will actually be negative, remember. So depending upon this, whether the image is erect or inverted, we can just say that this h dash will be positive or negative, and it is equal to minus of v upon u. ये भी हमको अच्छी तरह से याद रखना है, minus of v upon u. Again, u is always negative, remember. Why? Because the object is always kept at left side from the mirror, right? And hence this u will be negative, but v may be positive or it may be negative, depending upon whether it is at the right side or left side. If the image is formed at the right side, then we can just consider it as positive. Okay, v will be positive. And if suppose this image is formed at the left side, as it happens in case of virtual image, in case of mirror, तो उस केस में फिर ये जो image distance जो है वो negative बन जाएगा. And because of this negative sign here, the magnification may be positive or it may be negative. But the positive sign of magnification and negative sign of magnification का interpretation क्या होता है वो भी हमको already पता है. Positive magnification means image is erect, and negative magnification means image is going to be inverted, remember. So this is all about the sign conventions. Just consider this equation for linear magnification. What is the expression for magnification of the mirror? It is going to be the fourth one, has to be the correct option. This minus v upon u is going to be actually the correct option, remember. Expression for mirror equation is 1 upon v plus 1 upon u equal to 1 upon f. There is plus sign between 1 upon v and 1 upon u, remember, in case of mirror equation. Okay, so this is all about the reflection we have seen already. Now let us go to refraction. Yes, let us see what is refraction. So refraction के बारे में हम जानते हैं already कि the passing of light from one medium to another medium is actually called as refraction. So as the ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, we can just clearly see this animation and see that how the waves are entering from one medium to another medium and just get bent, right? So जो wave front जो है वो bend हो जाते हैं और bend होने की वजह से उनका जो wavelength है तो वो wavelength decrease हो जाता है. तो whenever the wave ray of light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, what happens is the ray of speed also decreases, and at the same time wavelength also decreases actually, and the ratio of yes, so the ratio of the velocities of the light in two different media is actually called as the refractive index, or even the ratio of wavelength also is called as refractive index. And it is also defined as, refractive index is also defined as the sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction ratio. So which is equal to sine I upon sine r equal to 1 n2, which can also be written as n2 upon n1. So that cross multiplication gives n1 sine I is equal to n2 into sine r in this way. So this is the Snell's law. And also we know that is n2 is equal to c upon v2 and n1 is equal to c upon v1, where v1 and v2 are the speeds of light into respective media. And then if we just replace this here, then we can just be able to get n2 upon n1, which is equal to c upon v2 into v1 upon c. So that cc gets cancelled and we are left with v1 upon v2, which is also equal to frequency into wavelength, that is f into lambda 1 upon f into lambda 2, so that lambda 1 upon lambda 2 if f is cancelled. Okay, so this is the ratio of wavelength. And also by using the principle of reversibility, we can just prove that the refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium is also equal to the 1 upon the refractive index of second medium with respect to first one. Okay, and then here it is the critical angle, the concept of critical angle. Suppose that n2 is greater than n1. That means the ray of light is traveling from the denser medium to rarer medium. So in that case, whenever it incidents at an angle, okay, sorry. Different thing is explained here. Actually, whenever the ray of light enters from rarer medium to denser medium, it always bends towards the normal. Remember, and r is going to be less than I. But when the ray of light bends from or enters from denser medium to rarer medium, then in that case the ray of light just bends away from the normal. Remember, and that is actually called as a r is greater than I. Okay, then again refraction के जो applications है तो वो हम देख सकते हैं कि there is a lateral displacement whenever the ray of light travels from the slab of glass. तो कोई भी ट्रांसपेरेंट ग्लास में से जब रे ऑफ लाइट ट्रेवल करता है तो देयर इज अ लैटरल शिफ्ट इन द रे ऑफ लाइट, and that shift can also be found out by using the special formula which we already derived in the theory lectures, which is given by, उसमें देखो AB जो है वो r upon cos theta cos r मिल जाता है, और अगर हम ये सब सब चीजें अगर यूज करेंगे तो हमको ये वाला फॉर्मूला मिलता है. देखो से lateral shift can be expressed in this way, delta x which is equal to t into sin I minus r upon cos of r. This is actually the formula for lateral shift, remember. Yes, then again we can just go to the next concept. Yes, ये भी हमने देखा था कि this is called as the radius of vision. ठीक है, if you are at a bottom of tank filled with water, then this bottom appears to be raised when viewed from along the normal direction. जब हम normal direction से देखते हैं तो ये bottom जो है वो हमको थोड़ा ऊपर आया हुआ दिखता है. That is called as the apparent depth, and the actual depth जो है उसको हम बोलते हैं real depth. And it can also be proved that refractive index of the medium, denser medium with respect to rarer medium, is always equal to the real depth upon apparent depth. So n is equal to t upon t dash. ये जो है तो ये भी रियल डेप्थ और अपरेंट डेप्थ के बीच में का एक्सप्रेशन है। और शिफ्ट के लिए क्या फॉर्मूला हमको मिलता है, देखो शिफ्ट कैन बी रिटर्न टू बी सिंपली इक्वल टू रियल डेप्थ माइनस एपरेंट डेप्थ, क्योंकि रियल डेप्थ और एपरेंट डेप्थ इन दोनों के बीच में का जो डिफरेंस होता है उसको ही हम क्या बोलेंगे, शिफ्ट बोल सकते हैं। ठीक है, सो शिफ्ट के लिए क्या फॉर्मूला है हमारे पास, 1 माइनस 1/n इंटू टी, वेयर टी इज द थिकनेस, रिमेंबर, or real depth we can say. Real depth is the t. So real depth multiplied by 1 minus 1/n gives us the shift, remember. Yes, now suppose that observer is there in the rarer medium, and suppose the object is there in the denser medium. Then we can just say the real depth will be denoted by t here. ये जो t यहाँ पे डिनोट किया जा रहा है वो एक्चुअली रियल डेप्थ है, और ये t डैश जो है तो वो एक्चुअली apparent डेप्थ है। And the shift here in this case can be obtained by the same formula which we have just noted here. अभी अभी जो हमने फॉर्मूला नोट डाउन किया था उसी से हमको ये मिलेगा, शिफ्ट मिल जाएगा। ये देखो, दिस इज द formula for shift. Shift is nothing but apparent depth minus real depth in this case, so that we can just get this as n minus 1 into t. But ये किसके लिए था, देखो whenever the object is already there in the water, okay, डेंसर मीडियम के अंदर ऑब्जेक्ट है, मतलब ऑब्जर्वर है, और जो ऑब्जेक्ट है तो वो रेयर मीडियम के अंदर है, तो उस केस में हमको ये फॉर्मूला यूज करना पड़ेगा। तो उस केस में शिफ्ट का फॉर्मूला उल्टा हो जाएगा, दैट मींस द फॉर्मूला फॉर द शिफ्ट विल बी एक्चुअली इक्वल टू n-1 into real depth, so n-1 into t. This will be the formula actually for the finding the shift in case when the observer is already there in the interior, in the denser medium. Okay, ये हमको याद रखना है। You can just see that this n1 into sine I equal to n2 into sine r is going to be the Snell's law. Okay, well, now we can see the critical angle, the concept of critical angle and total internal reflection and its applications. So as we can see that if suppose there is a source in the denser medium and suppose it emits the light in all directions, then the rays which bend through some angle, they will just get refracted and just will bend away from the normal. For them, I will be less than r. That means angle of refraction is going to be greater than angle of incidence. So if we go on bending this ray of light so that the angle of incidence goes on increasing step by step, then at a particular point, what happens is the refracted rays are just grazing the surface, and hence the refracted rays are just passing the surface along the surface tangentially, so that the angle of refraction becomes 90 degree. And such an angle for angle of incidence in the denser medium, for which the angle of refraction is 90 degree, is actually called as critical angle. It is denoted by IC or simply C. And using the Snell's law, we can also find out the expression for this critical angle, which is simply n2 upon n1 is equal to 1 upon sine IC, or simply we can say sine IC is equal to n2 upon n1 upon n2. Okay, sine C is equal to n1 upon n2, where n1 is the refractive index of rare medium and n2 is going to be the refractive index of denser medium. Most of the cases, the refractive index of rarer medium is air, which is 1. So n1 is 1 in most of the cases, but not always. Yes, now we can see the total internal reflection. If suppose the ray of light goes on bending more and more and incidents at an angle which is greater than critical angle, then it will suffer from total internal reflection. It will not be refracted, but it will suffer from reflection in this way. This is called as a total internal reflection. अभी देखो यहाँ पे ये जो ray of light है, this is partly refracted and only simple small part of that light is getting reflected. So this is called as partial refraction actually. But if we just increase the angle of incidence, देखो यहाँ पे यहाँ से the angle of incidence is getting increased so that the still here partial refraction takes place. Okay, because the part of light is getting refracted and the remaining part is getting reflected. So partial reflection is taking place here. But at a particular point, what happens is, suppose at this point n here, the refracted ray is just tangential. Okay, so ये refracted ray जो है वो it is just passing tangential to the surface and grazing the surface, so that this angle IC becomes the critical angle actually. But if we just increase the angle of incidence still further, then the ray which will incident at an angle which is greater than critical angle here will not be refracted, but it will suffer from reflection only. So no refraction takes place here. The ray is completely reflected back in the same medium, and this phenomena is actually called as total internal reflection. So first three rays, O1, O2, and O3, are called as partially reflected rays. But the ray which incidents at O4 especially is called as totally reflected ray. That is, this is the phenomena of total internal reflection, remember. So whenever a ray of light passes from denser medium to rarer medium and incidents at an angle which is greater than critical angle, then the ray is totally reflected back into the same denser medium, and this phenomena is called as the total internal reflection, remember. In this way, we can see clearly the ray of light goes on bending more and more away from the normal, so that the angle of incidence goes on increasing. When this angle of incidence crosses the critical angle, then after that, the ray is not refracted, but it gets reflected back in the same medium. And this phenomenon is called as total internal reflection, remember. Then conditions are, the first one is that the light should be traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. The second condition is that the angle of incidence in the denser medium must be greater than the critical angle. That is, these are the two conditions for total internal reflection to take place, remember. The formation of mirage is an example of total internal reflection. In case of the desert, the layers of air can be considered to be different medium of different refractive indices. The layer of air which is in contact with the ground are very hot, and that's why they are having the very high temperature. Because of that, they behave like a rarer medium, but the layer of air which is away from the surface behave like a denser medium, comparatively denser medium. And hence, when the ray of light starts from distant object like this, तो यहाँ से distant object से जो rays start होते हैं, तो they go on bending more and more away from the normal, because they are entering from denser medium to rarer medium here, and incident at an angle which is greater than critical angle at a particular point, and then just get reflected back, and then they travel towards the normal and enter into the eyes of the observer, so that the observer can see the reflected image of the distant object in the desert. This is called as mirage, which happens in the desert in most of the cases. Not only in the desert, but here anywhere we can just find a pool of water at some distance on the road surface, and road surface just appears shining at particular distance, and this is also an example of mirage. You must have been seen this large number of times in sunny day. मतलब मोस्टली जो हॉट डेज या समर सीजन में इस टाइप का पिक्चर हमको मोस्टली दिखता है. कहीं बहुत दूर अगर हम देखते हैं तो रोड जो है वो चमकता हुआ दिखता है. ये जो रोड चमकने का जो फिनोमेना है वो एक्चुअली एक तरह से मिराज का ही एग्जांपल है. This is the explanation you can see of the total internal reflection. Even we can say that diamond also shines brilliantly because of the same reason again. That is, the angle of critical angle for the diamond air pair is very small, of about 24.4 degree. And whenever the ray of light enters into the diamond, it undergoes a large number of total internal reflections inside. And the surface of the diamond are cut in such a way that multiple total internal reflections made to occur. And because of that, diamond appears to be just like a source of light, and hence the diamond shines brilliantly. And also it throws different colors in different directions, and just appears to be the source of different colors. And this is the explanation of diamond. Even prism जो होते हैं, 45 45 90 वाले जो प्रिज्म्स होते हैं, तो वो भी लाइट को रिफ्लेक्ट करने के लिए मदद करते हैं, क्योंकि ग्लास का जो रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स है उसके हिसाब से क्रिटिकल एंगल उसका बनता है 42 डिग्री। जबकि अगर 45 45 90 वाला ये जो ग्लास का प्रिज्म अगर हम यूज करते हैं, तो whenever the ray of light enters into the glass, it incidents at an angle which is 45 degree, which is greater than the critical angle for glass air pair, and that's why the ray of light just gets reflected back in the same medium. And this type of prisms are used to invert the images or without changing their size. तो images का size change किए बिना उनको invert करने के लिए, उल्टा करने के लिए ये यूज होता है। और इवन दिस इज ऑल्सो यूज्ड इन पेरिस्कोप, पेरिस्कोप के अंदर भी ये यूज किया जाता है, नो डाउट। An optical fiber is the best example of total internal reflection, which consists of core, cladding, and buffer. Core is the inner part, cladding is the outer part or covering, and buffer is just a coating which is needed to protect the ऑप्टिकल फाइबर को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए ये बफर यूज किया जाता है। तो रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ कोर इज स्लाइटली हायर देन द रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ क्लैडिंग। इफ वी सी केयरफुली, when the ray of light enters into the optical fiber, then it incidents at a surface of core and cladding at an angle which is greater than critical angle and suffers from total internal reflection and incidents on the next surface. Again it incident at an angle which is greater than critical angle, and so on. So it continues to incident at an angle which is greater than critical angle every time, and it goes on suffering from total internal reflection unless and until it exits from other end. तो जब तक वो बाहर दूसरे एंड से बाहर नहीं आता तब तक वो इंटरनल रिफ्लेक्शन ही सफर करता रहता है, and there is no appreciable loss in the intensity of light, and hence we can just consider these optical fibers to be just pipes, ठीक है ना, which light can flow through. तो पाइप्स में से लाइट फ्लो हो सकता है, ऐसे लाइट पाइप्स के फॉर्म में हम इसको यूज कर सकते हैं ऑप्टिकल फाइबर को, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट इज and uses of optical fibers are unlimited. We can see there are uses in communication systems also. Even human body के internal parts जो है वो भी स्कैन किए जा सकते हैं एंडोस्कोप के नाम के टेस्ट के अंदर। You can just skip the MCQs. Yes, then lens is the very important topic we can just discuss here. There are two types of lens, convex and concave, and here we can see more types, that is अब देखो बाय कॉन्वेक्स लेंस जो है उसके अंदर दोनों सरफेसेस कॉन्वेक्स होते हैं। इक्वी कॉन्वेक्स का लेंस का मतलब होता है दोनों सरफेस का रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर सेम होगा, बट बाय कॉन्वेक्स का मतलब R1 एंड R2 कैन बी डिफरेंट, एंड प्लेनो कॉन्वेक्स का मतलब हो गया द वन सरफेस विल बी convex and other one will be plane, and convexo concave का मतलब हो गया एक सरफेस कॉन्वेक्स और दूसरा सरफेस कॉन्केव, नो डाउट। देन अगेन ये बाय कॉन्वेक्स लेंस, बाय कॉन्केव लेंस जिसमें रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर में भी डिफरेंट, बट इफ इट इज सेम then we can call it as equiconvex lens, and if it is plane, one surface is plane, then we can call it as a plano-concave lens, and if the other surface is convex, then we can call it as a concavo-convex lens in this case. The next is again refraction at a spherical surface. We have already derived this formula in regular theory. Whenever the ray of light just undergoes a refraction through a single spherical surface, then we can just say that this u, v, and radius of curvature r are just connected to each other by using a simple relationship that is given by simply 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to n2 upon just wait, एक मिनट। ओके, ये कर्व सरफेस का फॉर्मूला डिराइव नहीं किया है यहाँ पे, सिंपली जब रिफ्रैक्शन होता है तो स्नेल्स लॉ यूज किया है वहां पे। सो दैट मींस I is equal to अल्फा प्लस बीटा एंड R जो है वो इक्वल टू बीटा माइनस गैमा। ये इक्वेशन यूज करके हम ये प्रूव कर सकते हैं आराम से कि सिंपली n2 अपॉन v minus n1 upon u is equal to n2 minus n1 upon r. This is the formula for refraction through single curved surface. Remember. Then next is again okay, this is something different. Just forget about that. ओके एंड लेंस के थ्रू जब ये रे ऑफ लाइट इंटर करता है तो उसकी वजह से हम ये फॉर्मूला लेंस मेकर्स फॉर्मूला प्रूव कर सकते हैं जो कि 1 अपॉन वी माइनस 1 अपॉन यू इक्वल टू 1 अपॉन एफ वो करता है। और 1 अपॉन एफ के लिए क्या फॉर्मूला बनता है याद रखो, simply 1 upon f 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Remember, where r1 and r2 are the radii of curvatures of both of the surfaces which are not considered sign conventions here. Sign convention यहाँ पे consider करना होगा, ठीक है, उसके बाद ही हमको final result मिलेगा. So this is the lens maker's formula, remember. Then next is the power of lens. As we already know that power of lens is nothing but the reciprocal of focal length, which is kept in meter. And it is measured in diopters, remember. Yes, when the two lenses are connected together or combined together, then the total effective focal length of the combination can be obtained by using this formula. 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. Remember this formula, and this formula can be generalized for number of lenses also which are kept in contact, and we can express this in terms of the power also. So the power, effective power, becomes equal to p1 plus p2 plus p3. But this is the important formula here. ये देखो यहाँ पे ये एक important formula है. Total magnification of the combination is going to be actually the magnification of the first lens multiplied by magnification of the second lens multiplied by magnification of the third lens and so on like that. तो जितने भी सारे लेंस यहाँ पे रखे हुए होंगे तो हर एक का मैग्निफिकेशन का प्रोडक्ट मतलब इफेक्टिव मैग्निफिकेशन रहने वाला है पूरे लेंस का. तो ये भी हमको याद रखना चाहिए तरह से, ठीक है. Let us keep the MCQs or just solve them. Measure of convergence or divergence of lens is called as power. Yes. So this is all about we have to talk about in this today's lecture. बात करेंगे, ओके. उसे और एक बात कि